The biggest regrets people have on their deathbed is I wished I had done the things I wanted to do. And so often we're just so afraid of starting that we don't even start. Hi, my name is Mo Gayas. Essentially, I'm a kid who's obsessed with winning and sharing the lessons with you because growing up, I wish I had someone like me to help me out. On the Healthy Systems podcast, you will learn one main idea, system from each episode that you can use in your life, whether that is financial, relationships, fitness, and wellness. So if you're a millennial, you're hyper ambitious, this podcast is for you because the more systematic your life is, the more you can win and not waste time. So join me on your journey to building a life of healthy systems for yourself. Hello. Welcome to Healthy Systems Podcast. Today's episode is about getting started. Okay. So if there is something in your life that you're facing right now, maybe a decision, maybe a workout program, maybe a relationship, I don't know what it is. But if you're listening to this in your car and you were just pondering whether you should get started or not, this episode hopefully inspires you to get started, because getting started is by far the most important thing you can do in life to get ahead. Okay, so if you're listening to Healthy Systems, I know you're a killer, you're an ambitious person, you want to achieve amazing things in life. And if that's the case, none of that is going to happen if it just stays in your brain. You have to get started with the action. Okay, so a lot of the time what I see people is they talk about doing the thing, they want to start that business. They want to, get on a dating app, or they want to start the email marketing, or they want to start the social media channel. They want to make a YouTube video. They want to do this. And, the people that action takers disrespect the most or don't respect at all are the people that talk, but they never take action. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want to give you the permission to start. Okay. Because there's one thing that you're missing right now, and that is you don't know what you're afraid of. Because here's the thing. You might be like, man, Mo, I'm just a bad person. I don't get things started. I'm this, I'm that. I don't think that's true. I don't think that you're a bad person. I don't think you should feel guilty. I don't think you should feel ashamed. What you are experiencing right now is fear, and you don't know which fear it is. So a lot of the time, whenever I'm afraid to start something, I find myself putting things off. I find myself procrastinating on things. I ask myself, I'm like, what is Mo most afraid of happening if this thing didn't work out? Okay. And if you can identify that base fear, you will be able to counter it. You'll be able to be like, hey, like imagine you want to go to the gym and you want to do strength training. You've been talking about it for months and months and months, but you just end up not doing it. You end up procrastinating on it. Journal on this question. What are you most afraid of happening? And chances are you might be most afraid of injury. You might be more afraid of getting judged by others and them laughing at you because perhaps in 7th grade, when you couldn't run as fast, the other bullies made fun of you. Okay. It's those same fears that are showing up. So here's how we counter them. So once we identify what you're most afraid of, is first one, you're afraid of people judging you. Well, let's go at a time where there are less people there. Right. Instead of going at the peak hours, let's go at 5 a.m. in the morning when nobody's there, or 1 p.m. if you have a day off. Right. There are ways to, once you identify the fears, it's pretty easy to tackle them. Or the second one being, what if I get injured? Well, okay, let's start off with exercises that are very, very least likely to get you injured. Right. Let's start off with some machine work. Let's start off with exercise that you just can't mess up. Right. And then once you're comfortable with that environment of being in the gym, it's what we call the exposure therapy, you no longer will be afraid of that. You no longer will be afraid to get started. Okay. And I think that's one thing we do really well at Training of the Titans, by the way, just to plug. But overall, back to you, which is getting started. You have to get started. Otherwise, you'll forever wonder. And the biggest regrets people have on their deathbed is I wished I had done the things I wanted to do. And so often we're just so afraid of starting that we don't even start. And then months go by. First of all, days go by, then weeks go by, then months go by, then years go by, and we haven't made any progress. And that is a slow death, 100%, right? So at the end of the day, getting started is key. Like even as I'm doing this podcast, we all struggle with this. It's just that the levels change, right? So for me, at one point, it was being afraid to make a post. Then it was being afraid to hire somebody on my team. than it was being afraid to, put ourselves out there and do advertising on a bigger level, right? Where you'll get more hate because now you're getting seen by thousands and thousands and thousands of people, right? So as the game gets bigger, the fears get bigger too. And then the consequences are real too. So at the end of the day, like I'm like facing a decision right now that I've been like, in all honesty, I'm afraid to take the first step. But I, knowing all these frameworks in mind and having seen this over and over again, I can logically break that down and be like, Mo, what are you most afraid of happening? And literally, that's why these podcasts, I'm not here to like preach to you guys that I'm so perfect. I'm here to tell you that I still struggle with these things. And I'm sharing my lessons with you. And part of it, this podcast is kind of a selfish thing that I do because I can look back on these episodes 2 years from now, 5, 10 years from now, and be like, oh, that's what Mo was feeling back then, right? And that's why I love posting content. Like, sometimes I go on my Facebook memories and I see a post I made 8 years ago. And I'm like, oh, that's what I was going through at that time. And it's almost very inspiring. It's almost like my own diary. So for you, you're gonna, as you grow up, as you get older, as you do more things that force you to grow, you're gonna have more mountains to climb. And those mountains to climb are not always gonna be more comfortable. They're gonna be challenging. They're gonna make you, face fears that you might not be comfortable facing. So at the end of the day, just remember, trust your ability to figure it out. Just get started. Okay. And sometimes that means, okay, let's say in the workout situation, you're afraid to go to the gym. I would say go to the gym, find out what the issues are, and then you'll realize you don't have a workout plan. You don't know what exercise to do first. You don't know how to like log your weight, how to make progress. And then you hire me and I'll take care of that for you. But overall, you still have to overcome that first fear of getting in the gym, right? Because you don't even know what problems you'll face. And oftentimes, here's the funny thing. Oftentimes, when we don't get started, we often underestimate how much effort it'll take. So we're like, oh yeah, I just gotta go to the gym, right? Like I hear like beginners talk about this all the time. Man, yeah, man, like I have like 40 pounds of fat in my belly. But like if I just start going to the gym, I know I'll be good. And it's like, are you sure? Because the gym is just a floor with a bunch of machines. That's all it is, right? At the end of the day, what's going to transform you is a whole lot of choices, a whole lot of learning, because the current you is overweight. The current you doesn't have all those skills. So the person that's going to have all those skills is going to have the results that you want. So like a lot of the time, you got to get into the arena to even see what the problems you're going to face are, right? So step into the arena because that's the start. Literally, you're in your brain. You haven't started yet. No matter how much research you've done, no matter how much like you've been pondering about it for months and years, if you haven't gotten started, you are not in the game just yet. You're not there yet. So getting started is the key. So at the end of the day, whether it's in health, wealth, or relationships, or in your business, or side income, or a job, right? The process starts when you apply for the job. The process doesn't start when like you just think about it and 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 think about it some more, right? So at the end of the day, I'm giving you this podcast as permission, but also as an inspiration to get started. Because getting started, only when you get started will you realize all the shortcomings. You will realize where the work needs to get done, where you're actually lacking right now, what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. A lot of the time, we use up so much activation energy convincing ourselves to start. And then when we don't see results on day 2, we quit because we're like, man, I did all this thinking and I got nowhere. Versus start as soon as possible. So then you can realize what the battles in the arena are. And then we can use up this precious energy and attention on solving the actual problems versus just trying to like psych yourself up and being like, and just being like, yeah, man, I'm going to do it. 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 Like, just do it. Just take the first small step you can take, right? Whether that's like, okay, I'm gonna put on my gym shoes and go for a walk or get a gym membership. Just take one little step every day. If you just take one little step towards getting started, I promise you, you'll be among the legends because most people can't even get started. So I hope this helps. I'm going to keep this brief and short. Let me know if after listening to this, you started something because that would really, really make me happy. I don't, we don't make money on this podcast. We don't do it for the money. We just do it to inspire others and share our journey. So like for you, if all I hear back from this podcast is, Coach, I got started and here's what I did, I don't care what it is. I would be so happy for you and it would make my day. So do that. And I hope to see you on the next one and go kick some butt and get started. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Systems podcast. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. Now, here are 2 ways I can help you for free. One, you can join our free Facebook community by just going to this link, bit.ly/Titan Facebook group. Just type that into your browser and then answer 2 questions, and then we'll let you into our Facebook community where you'll meet other people, as well as we have a lot of free resources in terms of meal plans, workouts, all kinds of stuff in there. Second way I can help you for free is if you follow me on Instagram at MoeGaius, MoE, G as in George, H as in horse, I as in India, A as in apple, S as in Sam. Follow me there and then shoot me a message with the word Healthy Systems, and then I'll be sure to send you a free gift. Other than that, keep listening in, and I really appreciate you.